Perfect. All right. So, what's up, everybody? This is Justin Jackson with another episode of the Real Chat Podcast. I have my friend here, Nathan Lamberson. Loves to hunt, loves to fish, do all kinds of stuff out in nature. And with that being said, let's go. So you want to tell me a little bit about yourself, Nathan?
I'm 35. I was born with a birth defect called spina bifida, and it requires a use of a wheelchair on the daily. I have no feeling from about the belly button down. And when I was born, the doctors told my parents not to expect me to live to see the age of 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow. And you're 35 years old.
yeah,
Hey, there you go. See, look at that. Look at that. That's actually, man, that's amazing. That is amazing. So
yeah,
that's because there was a bigger plan for you, brother. The bigger
yeah. There's
plan.
been several times in my life that the doctors did not expect me to go home from hospital visits. And each time I proved them wrong.
Oh, wow. Wow. Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. So I think we were talking a little bit, and you're from Illinois. So what parts of Illinois are you from?
Down by Springfield,
Okay.
West Central Illinois.
All right. All right. Still Midwest. I just came
Yep.
back from Kansas. I had to go visit some family down there. So so specifically, what is it that you like to hunt? Because I mean, I'm hearing you hunt, and so how does that look for you?
Um, I used to do just about everything. I used to do deer, duck, pheasants, doves, and I tried turkey hunting, but I wasn't successful.
Okay.
But in 2000 and I believe it was 21 or 20, um, I was getting dressed after a shower and I bent over to put my shorts on and I broke my femur
Oh,
in my left leg. And when I went to the hospital, they did an x-ray, of course, and they did both of my legs just to make sure that I didn't have any other broken bones.
mhm.
And the doctor, after they got the results, comes in and he's like, "Do you know your right kneecap's also busted?"
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, no. He says it's about 6 months old. And I thought about it and I'm like, well, 6 months ago I would have been deer hunting.
Mhm.
And I remember one occasion I got my knee stuck under the dash of a buddy's pickup truck as I was trying to get out. Well, me being me, I don't have any feeling in my legs. I just yanked it out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So not having that feeling there, you get some injuries and don't even know that it happened.
right.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So,
So I made the decision 2 years ago, actually almost 4 years ago now, because I've been with my spouse now for 3 years on uh, Wednesday.
okay, congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Definitely.
But I made the decision because we were planning a wedding to just quit deer hunting because I didn't figure that it was worth the risk of climbing in and out of a truck
Hmm.
and risk screwing up my knee again or breaking another bone.
Sure.
So I no longer deer hunt, but I still duck hunt and dove hunt because those locations I can get to with my van.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the dove hunting. Like what types are these? The white doves? The
It's mourning doves
okay. All right.
and collared Eurasian doves, but we don't really see a lot of those here in Illinois.
Okay. Okay.
It's more the mourning doves.
Yeah, when I think of a dove, I'm always thinking of like the white doves that are flying around, at a wedding or something. And here comes
No.
here comes Nathan hunting them. Great, great. So, um, So being 35 years old, you go to college or anything, or tell me what
No,
life's been like for the
I
last five
really
years.
I just stay home, and I mean I do go out in the community when
Okay.
health allows. But otherwise, no, I just stay home and I work on my podcast, and I'm thinking about getting back into my YouTube stuff that I used to do.
Okay. Okay. So what was it that you used to do with YouTube?
I used to film hunting and fishing videos
Okay.
under under the name The Adapting the Outdoors or
Oh,
Adapting the Outdoors.
okay. All right. So how long have you been podcasting?
Just a few weeks. I started in late April, and I decided that it was something I liked doing,
Okay.
and so I've just continued with it. I did take a couple week break because my health was giving me some problems. I just wasn't feeling very good for a couple of days. So
Sure. Sure. Okay. Oh, understandable. So you like podcasting. So
I do.
can you tell the audience what's the full name of your podcast?
The name of the podcast is the Adapting the Outdoors podcast. And what I do is I bring guests on that have a disability that like to hunt and fish, whether that would be a disability that they're born with
Hmm.
or a disability that they acquired through a life-changing experience.
That's awesome, man. Because I got someone. I may have a guest for you, Nate. I got a guest for you. His name is Jacob. He's a good friend of mine. Kind of treat him like another son. But he has TBI. And it was caused. I'll let him tell more of his story when he joins you as a guest. We'll get you some guests here. But he has an amazing story, and now he kind of helps people with fitness. And I mean, this guy's got bigger arms than some people I know. I mean, he's always in the gym and he doesn't let any of that stop him from doing what he does fitness wise. He wants to be a
Fantastic.
fitness coach, and he wants to be a public speaker at some point, one day. And he was always worried about the way he sounded, and what other people were going to think about that. So I had him as a guest on my show, and he loved it so much that he always asked me, how do I start a podcast? I want to one day have my own podcast. So I think that would be a great opportunity to have him on your show.
I agree.
So we'll definitely stay in touch, and I'll link you up with Jacob. Amazing guy.
But
But
to go back, um, I bring them on and we talk about. I used to just narrow it down to hunting and fishing, but
mhm,
I'm looking to expand to all outdoor activities because I mean, if you limit yourself, you're gonna run out of guests.
right, right. Stay
So
motivated.
yeah. So right now I just do hunting and fishing, but we talk about the challenges that they experience with their disability and going outdoors,
Mhm.
and we talk about the successes and failures.
Okay. All right. So how many guests have you had since you started your podcast?
So far five.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're moving. Like that's right, man. You got to stay motivated. I see you're very motivated. You
Yes, sir. I
definitely
sure am.
keep it going. So I mean, and out of these guests that you've had on there, are they close friends or people you found or met out in the community?
Um, as of right now, it's a kind of a mixture because one of the guys I already knew. I've been friends with him for 10 years.
Okay,
But otherwise it's people that I just find through Facebook.
okay. But hey, that's how you find all your guests.
Yeah.
I've only been podcasting probably since I would say officially podcasting since last December. And I kind of went on a couple different podcasts here and there. So I mean, it's for you to have five, six guests already. That's amazing, man. Because there's a lot of people I know that are doing this, and they've had less guests than that, and they've been doing it a lot longer. You
Oh
know,
wow.
so yeah, it's easier than people think, but at the same time, it can get difficult and complicated. And I think the most complicated part is finding the right guest. So
I've found that the complicated part, besides finding the guests, is doing a solo podcast where it's just you talking.
it's trying to fill the gaps.
Yeah,
Yes, trying to stay on task and figure out the best presentation for it. So
exactly.
yeah, I've done a few of those, and then I go back and I listen to them, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what were you doing? Like, what were you even thinking?
Yeah.
And now I already put it on YouTube. So
Oh boy.
I got in the habit of learning to record, pre-record. At first, I was like, I can do this, and I jumped on there, and it was just a bunch of gibberish and rambling, and so what other things do you like in life? I mean, tell me a little bit how and where did you meet your new bride?
It's funny actually. We've known each other 25 years.
Wow.
And I moved away from my hometown after my parents split, and I was 13 at the time, and so her mom used to be my school bus driver in kindergarten through fourth grade.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's yeah. So the family already knew you. Mom already
yeah,
knew who you were.
yeah.
I love it.
And then we lost touch until 4 years ago, and I got a message from her on Facebook, and she's like, "Hey, do you remember me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, kinda," but I mean, it had been a long time, so my memory was a little fuzzy. But after a while, we just started talking, and the rest is history.
Nice, nice, and that's a good story. That's a very heartwarming, loving story. Uh, that's actually awesome and amazing that you were able to reconnect and start building a life together. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm doing. The woman I'm with now, I dated her over 20 years ago, and my story isn't as romantical, because she actually wrote me a Dear John letter. So, I gotta
Oh,
yeah, I got Dear John, and it just wasn't the right time, and here we are circling back 20 years later, and it's been the most amazing thing because she's kind of the one that pushed me to do the podcast and supports me through everything that I do, every endeavor that I've been on lately. So,
so
you
I'm
know,
guessing you're close to my age.
I'm 43 years old. Yep. So
Okay.
43, not too much older. Um, multiple kids. Actually got them here. You know, over here they're peeping in right now, so
Oh
kind
boy.
of yeah. So they definitely want to get on camera and stuff, and eventually I'll get them on here. But yeah, so I'm 43 years old. I've been doing the podcast for almost coming up probably about 8 or 9 months now. I'm about 20. This will be episode 24. So
Can we pause?
yeah, let me go ahead and I'll let me pause that for a sec. Right. There we go. We're back. We're back in business. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see. I'm learning as I go. It's been a learning experience. So but yeah, I've been doing this. I'm also a life coach. So I'm a transformational mindset life coach, and what I do with that, is I help people develop a different mindset, or help guide them along. I've been doing this for several months now after I became a Wisconsin state certified peer support specialist. So I go out in the community and I work with young adults. That's mainly the ones that I want to talk to and help, because those critical decisions that we make in our younger years,
Mhm.
is going to determine how hard or how simple it is to be able to find success or create a life, as far as that goes. So we ended up, give me 1 second. My son says, can I say hi? No. So, but yeah, so being a Wisconsin State certified peer support specialist, has opened up a lot of doors. I've done a lot of work with Mental Health America where, I've been able to do workshops and bring in people from the community online and, create kind of a space where they can share some of the traumas that they've been through and some of the issues they're dealing with, and also bring in other professionals to be able to help them through that. So it's been an amazing ride. So that's why I asked, what else do you do out in the community, when you reach out to anybody? um and I think it's big what you're doing, because what you're doing is you're giving someone a space to be able to come on and share their disability, to be able to share their struggles, and you never know what can come out of that.
Right. And I feel that their stories are more important than mine.
Right,
You
everybody's
know,
story matters.
right. And people are like, well, your story is just as important. I don't really like talking about myself.
Right. Okay. Well, hey man, I salute you because you've been talking about yourself this whole podcast. So I mean, you can pat yourself on the back and just realize, that you're doing it and you're doing it well. I can hear in your voice and I can see, on the screen, man, the passion that you have behind what it is you're doing. You know, and you obviously have the drive to do it. 5, 6 guests already, and you've only been doing this since April. I
Yeah,
mean, man, you're really moving. So I salute you for that. Like I definitely salute you.
thanks.
So I mean, you should be proud of yourself, man, and just keep that forward momentum in what it is that you want to do. So I mean, what do you see yourself doing in about 5 years? In 5 years from now?
Well, I would like to obviously expand the podcast and make it bigger. Um, I guess going back to YouTube.
Hmm.
But other than that, just living life.
Okay.
I do dialysis 4 days a week for 4 hours.
Hmm. Sure.
So just making memories.
Right. Okay. Yeah, man, and I mean, that's what life's all about, right?
Yeah,
Making memory. You have to be able to create. You got to make every second count. You know what I mean? Make every
exactly.
second count. Doesn't matter what it is. Whether you're reaching out to tell somebody you love them, hey, how you doing? Smile at somebody in the grocery store. You never know the impact of what that smile is going to have on that individual. You know,
Exactly.
so we're never, and that's why I say, everybody's story matters. Everybody's story matters, and you know, being able to share your story is a powerful thing because you never know how many millions, thousands of people you might be able to help. You know,
Hmm.
somebody might just listen to one thing that you said and they're like, oh man, I'm gonna change my life today. Today's the day. And it takes just that one YouTube video or that one podcast that you get a chance to see, you change the whole, direction of their life. So, and I see you doing that.
I had a guy tell me the other day, one of my, well, he's actually my new co-host.
Oh wow,
Uh,
okay.
he told me that he no longer has a reason to complain about getting out of bed.
Man, that's awesome. That's that actually, and you know what? That's awesome because you're getting up every day and pushing forward and doing this, and now you just motivated somebody else to appreciate, getting his butt up and out of bed and not complaining about it.
Yeah,
You know, and that's an amazing thing, because a lot of us, that do get up and do all this craziness, and we take for granted, the ones that really have that strength, that drive, because this is life for them. This is what you have to do, you,
exactly.
you know, and man, that's a blessing. And so he's your new co-host, huh?
Yep.
Okay, so
We just recorded our first episode together 2 days ago.
nice,
Yep.
nice.
We
Okay.
were supposed to have a guest that night, but some things came up in the guest's life, so we just decided to
Mhm.
just shoot the breeze and just talk and get to know each other.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome. That's actually awesome because when I started out doing this, I did it alone by myself from the basement. And then eventually I had another studio, which they actually made for us over at a church where my co-host is a pastor, so Pastor Michael Thomas. And if you see any of my past podcasts, he'll be on there. And he's a pastor, obviously, and he wanted to start his own podcast and decided, hey, why don't we just do this together? But most of our episodes were always him and I talking. It was
Mhm.
always just me and him figuring out a topic or a subject, and then we would just talk about it. You
Well,
know,
why wasn't he on here today?
because I actually moved this studio to my basement. So I moved it over to my house, and we still
Oh,
have that one. But it's kind of things are kind of up in the air right now. We're trying to figure things out. Well, he's also a boxing coach, so he just got a new boxing gym, and he has the church he has to worry about, church congregation. He also has, he's been really busy with that. He's really busy with his setting up the new gym and getting everybody in there and everything moved over. And so we're kind of going in two different directions right now.
okay.
Not to say that he won't be on here anymore in the future, but definitely a good friend, and we'll definitely still be doing things together because he is very active in the community. So, but as of right now, I just kind of went solo. So because I got so many more interviews that he won't be available to do.
Right.
So I had to figure out a way to make it work. And I'm loving it being here where I can just come downstairs and jump on and get a podcast going. If there's any shorts and videos I want to do when something, I just think about it. So that's something I would encourage you to do as well, Nate, is whenever you have something you want to say, record it.
Okay.
Record it. You know what I mean? Just record it. And, we can talk a little bit later, about some other options. But I am part of a podcast community. It's called Podcast AI Launch, and amazing people. The community is just amazing. You meet so many people that are podcasters from all over the world. You can be on their podcast, they can be on yours. And some of these people have been doing business like mortgage broking and stuff like that for many, many years. And they are wanting to start their own podcast, but they
Mhm.
haven't done it yet. So now, within the last few weeks that I've been part of this community, I'm just seeing them doing interview after interview after interview, and just starting to see them pop up all over the place. And excuse me, one of the guys that I look up to the most out of this group actually has cerebral palsy, you know, so he is very, very motivating. You know what I mean? When you watch his video, so his nickname is Nick Gernhardt.
Yep.
Uh,
I talked to him.
So you've talked to him. So
Yep.
amazing guy,
Oh
amazing,
yeah.
and so he's just been on fire, man. Like I call him, so I talk to him every couple days on the phone, and I'm like, hey man, I just saw the new video, and we go back and forth and do Zoom, and a lot of the things that I changed with my podcast and the structure of it, I learned from him. Like, and he just started doing this, but I mean, just that motivation he has is insane.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, you got way too much energy, and
Have you
I can't.
seen his schedule?
Yes, yes,
Oh my goodness, that it blew my mind.
it is insane. He stays busy, constant, and he gave me the idea to move my studio here. Because once I saw his layout, I was like, oh wow, that's what I'm gonna do. So so I had to call him up. I said, hey, what do you got in your background? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I just do this. So I'm like, cool, man. So but yeah, Um, I definitely, we got like 10 more minutes, I mean, is there anything else you want to say to some of the viewers? Do you want to shout out?
Um, I would like to let people know that I accept questions. Um, so if anyone has a question now that they've listened to us, email me at adaptingtheoutdoors@gmail.com. All I ask is that it be related to effect.
Okay. Okay. So do you have an Instagram or Facebook?
I have Facebook and Twitter. I used to have an Instagram, but for some reason they closed my account.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Posting too
sure
many
what happened
videos,
there.
putting out too much content, I've seen that happen a lot.
No, it's the funny thing. I had just opened the account 3 or 4 days prior.
Oh, wow.
And I got an email saying that I had posted some content that went against community guidelines, but I hadn't even posted anything.
Right, right. Okay. Oh, wow. See, and you know what? That happens a lot. Like where they just reach out and say that, oh yeah, you violated the community rules or something, and you're like, wait, what did I do? Like,
Yeah.
they didn't even do anything wrong, and it happens at a time where you didn't even post anything really. You might have just shared a video that you saw from somebody else, and all of a sudden you violated the rules. But
Right.
like, how did I get access to this video if he didn't violate the rules? So got to try to figure that out. But so yeah, anything else you want to say?
um Not off the top of my head.
Okay, okay.
I was trying to think of something I'd like to share that would be poignant, but nothing really comes to mind.
What do you have to motivate the audience? Is there anything you want to say to the audience to get them getting their butts in gear and getting up every morning?
Success comes in cans, failure comes in cans. That's one of the quotes that I love. Another quote that I live by is no hill too steep for a climber. Anytime that I go in the hospital, my mom and I both look at each other and we say that that's our motivational motto.
I love that. I love that. Definitely. Well, you know what, Nathan? It was a pleasure to have you on the show. And I'm not a hunter and my but I would love to one day, jump on your podcast. We can sit around and chop it up, even if it's just a recap of what we talked about today and just get to know you a little better, man.
Heck
So
yeah,
you
let's
have
do it.
definitely. So I want to say thank you very much. And this was another episode of the Real Chat Podcast. And we'll definitely be in touch, brother.
Definitely. I look forward to hearing from you again.
All right. You enjoy the rest of your day, brother.
You too.
All right.